might be telling yourself that you're not good enough, or it's not for you, or it's for someone else. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. For you that are new here, welcome. And for the guys coming back for another video, thank you. Really appreciate you being here. And again, hopefully you find something useful in this video. Let's get started. So today I'm going to be introducing you to yourself. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I'm going to be talking about the inner critic, or the inner child, or the negative voice, or the negative self-talk. It's known as many different things, but mainly it's a voice that has followed us around probably for as long as we can remember, and it's putting us down. It's not helpful and we don't need it. It actually originates from when we were much younger growing up, and it's the self-belief that we built and told ourselves as we were growing up. And unfortunately, in some cases, it's not always a positive self-belief that we grow up with, or we make up about ourselves, or how we feel about ourselves. It can often be a negative self-belief and a negative voice, or a negative inner critic putting us down as we go through life. And I want to emphasize on the fact that that's not necessarily your fault that you've developed this negative self-talk or negative voice. It's just the way that you were made to feel growing up, and it's something that you should have been almost given as a child, a sense of self-worth, but unfortunately in some cases we're not, and we then have to go on either beating ourselves up, putting ourselves down, not believing in ourselves, or we can do what I'm trying to do in this video today, and that's identify that negative self-talk and that negative voice, and we can start challenging it and changing it and putting across a more positive voice. And what I want to do today is really help you identify that voice, because it's often very subtle and we can't hear it. It's not like someone's behind you talking the whole time. It's very subtle and unconscious, and it's difficult sometimes to tune into. And if you're one of the lucky ones, you haven't had a negative self-talk or inner critic putting you down your whole life. But if you're like myself, it's something that I've had to deal with and overcome, going forward into a more positive mindset, telling myself a different story from the one that I was made to believe as I was growing up. So what I want to do, if it's okay with you, is just do a little exercise, and we're going to shut our eyes, or you can leave them open, and I just want you to think of a place that you really want to be in life, or somewhere that you really see yourself, something that you really want, you haven't managed to achieve yet. And just think about that for a second. Picture yourself in that moment, doing that activity in that place, and just see if you can notice any doubts, any excuses, any reasons why you're not there or why you can't get there. You might be telling yourself that you're not good enough, or it's not for you, or it's for someone else, but it's a negative, and it's downplaying what you really want. So just tune into that for a second. See if you can hear any excuses being made, any negative inputs. And if you can, then this is your self-critic. This is your negative self-talk. This is your inner child, if you will. And once we identify that, once we can hear it, we can start challenging it. So you might think, for example, when you put yourself in this place where you want to be, or this goal that you want to achieve, or this activity that you want to do, you might hear it saying things like, I can't do that for whatever reason, or it's not for me for whatever reason. But I want you to start, when you hear that voice, number one, recognizing it, and then number two, start saying more positive things to yourself, challenging it, going back and hearing what it's saying and saying the alternative, going against it, instilling a more positive self-belief. So it might look like you want to start going to the gym, exercising and working out. But when you think about doing it, you start hearing this voice telling you excuses, telling you reasons why you can't do it, or why you don't want to do it, or how it's not for you. Or there's a million examples of what that inner critic might be telling you. So hear that for a second, and then just challenge that, and start saying back to yourself the opposite. Start telling yourself that you are able to do it, and you are good enough, and it is for you, and you can do it. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a process where we have to keep attuning to that negative voice, that inner critic, and challenging it every time it comes up, recognizing it, there it is again, and challenging it and disproving it. And what happens over time is the negative voice gets quieter and quieter, and the positive one's going to get louder and louder. It's going to shift your mindset. It's going to change your outlook on things. When you go to do an activity or something new, you're going to start hearing positives instead of the negative. So it sort of centers around a CBT approach. If you're not sure what CBT means, it's cognitive behavioral therapy, and it really is all about getting in tune with them voices in your head, and then challenging them, self-beliefs that you've got about yourself. So hopefully, once you sit and do that exercise, maybe you can do it a couple of times, go back and think to what you want or where you want to be in your life, and then just have a listen and see what comes up. And if you can hear a voice in your head making excuses or telling you reasons why you can't do that, then you've identified it. You've introduced yourself to your negative voice, your inner critic. And now once you've become aware of it, you can start challenging it. So have a go at that. Let me know how you get on. And just remember, a lot of the time in life, the way we feel about ourselves is the way we've been made to feel. And there's not actually anything wrong with us. Guys, I'm sending you all the love, all the peace that you deserve. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.